Remember, this is an exercise in imagination, reason, and logic. We need to use logic. Many of us are not. Many of us are seeing all the roses and we have our rose colored glasses on. And then here comes this super awesome salesman and he tells us we're going to be debt free. And it's lovely. No, sad, because you're not debt free. If you run money through the policy to pay off another expense, you are not debt free. You just move the debt from one pocket to another. Hello, 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 and welcome back to the podcast. Thank you very much for being here. Hey, before I forget, we did a thing. We did a thing, and we are putting this video podcast on Spotify. So if you guys listen on any app besides Spotify, you're not going to see the video unless you go to YouTube. But now you can put videos on Spotify, and I am loving it. I use Spotify to listen to my videos, and I absolutely love when I can see somebody's videos. So if y'all want to change up your podcast app, go over to Spotify and watch me there. All right, today I got a new thing. I got a new thing as well. We did a new thing and I got a new thing. So here we go. If you're watching on the video, you're going to see this. This is why you're going to want the video, people. Okay, so when I'm going to get mad about something, you know how I always say for the love of Pete? So I went and got myself a hat. See that? For the love of Pete. This is what this podcast is going to be about. And I'm going to wear my hat because this is just like a red warning that we're going to have a little German passion probably here today. But I just came across a TikTok. And pay attention here. This drives me crazy. Absolutely bonkers. When people say, oh, I bought my whole life insurance policy and now I'm debt free. I paid premium and I borrowed against the cash value and I paid off all my credit cards. So now I'm debt free. For the love of Pete, you're not debt free. You moved your debt from the credit card company over to the life insurance policy. If you have a loan on your life insurance policy, that's debt. It's a loan. They charge you interest. You should pay it back. So I don't want to hear, oh, I'm debt free. If you are listening to social media about the infinite banking concept, about life insurance and how amazing it is, and oh, how it is, when you truly understand how to use it, it is not a tool that you don't have to pay back. Yes, you can pay interest only on it. That's 100% totally fine. 100% fine. Pay the interest only. But you better darn well have a plan to pay that loan back. Unless it's retirement, why aren't you paying it back? If it is an operating note, great, fantastic, pay interest only. But guess what? When you're done farming, that gets paid back. If you have a business loan and you get done with the business, you pay that back. But this misconception that I am going to put all this money, I'm going to pay all these premiums, and then I'm going to borrow against it, and I am going to get rid of that debt, and I am now debt free. No, that is what's called a sales tactic. Yep. Somebody got you, and you're not understanding that has to be a loan. You did nothing except move a loan from one hand to the other. It's just that you are now in control. And if you are not responsible, you should not be a banker. Not everybody should be a banker. Not everybody should sell life insurance because not everybody is honest enough to do it. So make sure that when you are listening to people, they are telling the truth. I had a gentleman the other day that met with me, and I said, he's not a farmer. And I said, oh, you don't farm? Why? Why are you meeting with me if you don't farm and you have books from 5 other agents. And I knew who I knew. I think all of them but one. And I said, "So why are you meeting with me?" And he said, "Because I like your no BS approach and you're the one that's telling the truth." So we have so many people that are just trying to what? Make some commission, sell some policies, make it sound like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it is a great thing. And I've talked about it before. It's not new. It's not sexy. It's old as the hills. It's steady Eddie. It's the turtle in the race. And that's great. But you still need to understand how to use it. You can't abuse it. Interest that you do not pay back compounds. You are not debt free. You may look debt free to creditors, but you are not debt free. You still owe money to yourself. And this is Parkinson's law. This is everything Nelson talked about. If you are not being an honest banker to yourself in your policy, how do you think you're ever going to beat Parkinson's law and get ahead? How are you actually running your business, your operation, whatever it is you're doing? How are you doing all that if you're not actually being honest with the money that you're using? Just like you need to pay attention to your monthly budget, you also need to pay attention, even more attention to being the banker. You need to understand it, not just buy something because some Joe Schmo makes it sound like it's the best thing ever and you never have to pay this back. It's all good. No, it's not. Be aware who you're listening to and what you're hearing. Read my book, read Nelson's book. I just got off the phone with a young guy that I was going through everything and he's like, yep, yep. And his cousin referred him. And I said, "Oh, did your cousin explain all this to you?" And he said, "No, I've just listened to 2 years of podcasts and read all the books. So yeah, I know what you're saying." He's done his due diligence. He knows the answers to those questions. He's thought about it. Remember, this is an exercise in imagination, reason, and logic. We need to use logic. Many of us are not. Many of us are seeing all the roses and we have our rose colored glasses on. And then here comes this super awesome salesman and he tells us we're going to be debt free. And it's lovely. No sad because you're not debt free. I'm not going to beat this like a dead horse. That is all I had to say about that today. If you run money through the policy to pay off another expense, you are not debt free. You just move the debt from one pocket to another. If you have questions on this, let me know. MaryJo@withoutthebank.com. If you have not read the books yet, go read the books. I had some, I'm sure, lovely lady call me today and said, "Mary Jo, I just have some questions about the policy." But she hadn't read the book. She hadn't watched any videos. I'm sure she just saw something really quick on social media and was like, "Oh, I'm going to reach out to her, but I'm going to do zero due diligence." Probably not a fit. Let me know if you need me. Otherwise, go get your books, schedule your appointment. I still have openings for January, I do believe. And if you can't get in with me, feel free to schedule with John. All right, you guys, you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Farming Without the Bank podcast. We hope today's episode has inspired you to take control of your finances in new ways. Don't forget to check out our website, farmingwithoutthebank.com, and engage with us on our Facebook page, Farming Without the Bank. Join us next week as we smash more financial myths and empower you to accomplish your financial goals.